Good to
Hi.
see everyone. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, thank you so much for joining today's session so that you can learn more about our 2025 iCAN Summit. We're super excited for our summit. Abby and I and our Kids Summit planning team have been planning this summit, and we're just so excited by all the things that are coming underway. And we cannot wait for you all to be there, or for chapter representatives from your chapter to be there, or if you're a sponsor, we're excited to have you join us as well. So Abby, if you can go ahead and click the next slide. Perfect. So just as a reminder, our summit is going to take place at the Delta Marriott, which is located in Montreal, Canada. It's the perfect place to have the summit. It's in the middle of the entertainment district, so you'll have access to pretty much everything. I would say that you don't really need to go anywhere beyond the entertainment district unless you really want to explore beyond that. The dates of the summit are July 14th to 17th. So you want to be able to check in July 13th, the Sunday before, and we're going to have a welcome desk that you're able to check in and come and get your badges and your swag bag, etc. But no meals will be provided by iCAN that Sunday check-in day. The checkout date will be Friday, July 18th, and brunch is going to be provided that day, but no other programming will take place. So the official programming will end on July 17th. Again, July 18th is just for us to have one last meal together before you leave the summit. And next slide. Thank you.
Oh,
And so we,
sorry.
oh,
I like skipped to the end accidentally.
that's
Let
okay.
me go back to the
That's
front.
okay, Abby. You. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat, or of course, you can wait until that session comes at the end of the session. And so again, we are having it in Montreal. We're super excited to have it in Montreal in the summer. Um, the life there really comes alive. They have nonstop international events such as the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival, which is actually taking place when we're there, July 16th to 27th. There's an Old Port Montreal, which is walking distance. Abby and myself walk there. There's also shops on St. Catherine Street. So there's a lot that you can do that's super local without having to go on a metro. But of course, some days we will be going and using the public transportation system to get to some of the places within our summit agenda. And so more information about the Delta. So if you are not on stipend, you're going to book your hotel room at the Delta here. Abby, would you be able to click that link and put it in the chat? So again, this is if you are not on stipend. If you are on stipend, we will book your room on your behalf. You just have to tell us if you would like um, a double bed or a king bed occupancy. And then from the airport by car, you can of course take Uber, Lyft, etc. That's about 20 to 30 minutes. And then you can also take public transportation, and that will take 45 minutes to 1 hour. If you are on stipend, then and you did not fulfill your full stipend amount, then you can use the transportation to the airport and you can ask for reimbursement for that as well. And so again, it's a prime location. It's right next to McGill University. It's next to Montreal. It's also next to a bunch of shops and things like that. So there's no need to really venture outside of that. And then there's a ton of hotel amenities. There's a pool, gym, and squash courts. And there's also wheelchair accessible rooms. So if you do have the need for an accessible room, you're just going to mark that into the registration form. And then there's also playrooms for young children, and every single room comes with a mini fridge and safe as well. Thank you, Abby. So here are summit registration deadlines and everything involving the summit. And these are hard deadlines. So you want to make sure that you get things in by these dates. So for our posters, and these are chapters and individual, they've been open for a while. They're due on June 20th. Okay, so the same day that the posters are due, registration will close as well. Registration has been open since February 20th. It will close June 20th. So if you are on a stipend, or you have not submitted your stipend list, you want to send that in to us by May 20th. Okay. And for our sponsors on this call, just make sure that you get in your registration by June 20th. Also, if you are a sponsor on this call, or if you are a chapter that's booking additional rooms beyond the stipend rooms, you want to make sure that you get that booking in as soon as possible because we only have a certain number of rooms in our block for sponsors and those who are booking rooms externally from our stipends. So make sure you book as soon as possible. And then we also had scholarships, and that already closed, but we want to congratulate Kids Mexico City, which is also who are also on this call. Thank you so much, Paloma. They did an amazing job. We'll showcase their videos at the summit. They are truly spectacular. Literally brought tears to my eyes. And then Kids Kosovo, congratulations as well. Your essay was amazing, and we can't wait to feature it and possibly have her read it as well at the summit. And again, iCAN stipends recipients, we need that list by May 20th. And again, registration is closed June 20th. So everyone on this call, make sure that you are registered by June 20th. Okay, next one, Kathy.
Perfect. So I'm going to talk a little bit about entry requirements. Excuse me. And all of this information is widely available on the website. Sabina and I are more than happy to discuss. If you attended the previous info session, this will just kind of be a recap of those requirements. But as of 2025, with the exemption of United States citizens or permanent residents, all international travelers will either need a visa or B, an electronic travel authorization or ETA to enter Canada. And so the Canadian Customs has this wonderful quiz that you can click on. It's linked here, and we'll be able to send those links and all of these slides after to just let you know and help you figure out whether you'll need a visa or an ETA. I've also created a chart on the iCAN website that I think you may see in the next slide that it's not a full comprehensive list of all the different chapters and countries we have, but it should give you an idea of whether or not you'll need an ETA or a visa, but I would double check using this quiz. Visa recipients, visa processing times can be long. So if you haven't started the visa application process, please go ahead and start. And if you require a visa, you must apply online through the IRCC Secure Network. And then also make sure to notify us who is applying for the visitor visa. And this is for those who are coming on stipend and those also coming not on stipend. Anyone who's applying for a visa, please go ahead and send those lists and those names to us. This year, we are official partners of the IRCC as a registered Canadian event. And so we were able to send kind of a list of the names of everyone who's applying to visa to kind of the Canadian IRCC group, and they will be able to help facilitate communication between home embassies. So it's really important that you make sure to send us those names as soon as possible so I can go ahead and get those names over to our contact at IRCC, and we can hopefully make the visa process a little bit smoother. For an ETA, the fee for an ETA is $7 Canadian. This is a fee that can be included in your travel reimbursement if you're on stipend. So make sure to save receipt, save the receipt, and save proof of purchase, and send that to us when you fill out the stipend reimbursement form. And you will also need a valid passport and credit card in order to acquire the ETA. If you have any questions or concerns or issues navigating, Sabine and I are more than happy to help through this process. So I'll go ahead and continue talking a little bit more. I did mention that we're a registered special event, so we're really excited about this. And it means that if you are applying for a visa, they've given us a special code that you're able to put into your visa application, which will kind of flag your application as an attendee of our registered event. So that's why it's so important that you send us the names, and so we can do some kind of cross connection there with the IRCC. If you are on stipend, if you do need a visa, you'll receive a letter once you register with the visa code, or if you send us those names, we can send you those letters in advance before registration. And this code will only be needed for those who are applying via visa itself. And so those with an ETA, you won't have to worry about inputting this code into your application process for the ETA. Okay. That was just a brief overview for the ETA, and we'll be able to go through it. And I believe, Sabine, I'm turning this one back over to you, or would you like me to chat over poster submission?
I'll talk about the poster submission and
Okay,
then you can talk about the dimensions that are needed.
perfect.
So, again, we're closing it June 20th, not June 15th. So, June 20th is the final date. And so that could be as far as your poster, it could be you sharing exactly what your chapter does and their focus. So some of you are community service based, some of you focus on research. You can share that, or it can be an official research project. It's basically whatever fits the needs of your chapter and what you all do as a chapter. So, for instance, my virtual chapter is going to be presenting on their research project that they are currently doing right now. But another chapter is going to just be doing introductions on who they are and their key parts on their roles in their specific chapter. So again, it's whatever you want to present on as a chapter. And for those of you who came last year, you were able to see really good examples of that. And we also have examples on our website as well if you want to see prior examples from the previous years. And just so you know, this year is a little bit different from last year. So last year we did allow for individuals to share their posters, but this year, since we are very tight on our schedule, only having the summit from Monday to Thursday as the official days, we are only having each chapter present. However, there will be time for people to stand by their posters and present in a symposium format. So there is that. So if you did want to create a poster as an individual and present to people who are walking around and share your research or what you're doing in your chapter, you can definitely do that. But again, the formal presentations that are part of the summit agenda that chapters are getting on stage for are only going to be those chapter posters, not individual posters this year. Okay, go ahead, Abby.
Thank you. And so, as Samina mentioned, you see a couple of the amazing posters from last year, and we have more examples. We also have the full call for posters open, so we'll send those links out after as well. This includes the details for how to submit a poster, what dimensions they should be in, and kind of what the format should be in. If you have trouble kind of troubleshooting that, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help. And I apologize for this typo. It does close on June 20th. All chapters that are planning on sending representatives to the summit, we would like you to submit a poster. If you are a chapter, or if you have an individual youth member who's done some great work, some amazing research, they want to submit a poster, but they're not coming to the summit this year for whatever reason, they're more than welcome to submit a poster, and we will still print their poster in order to be shared in the research symposium. So we really encourage, we had a few do that last year, and so we really encourage everyone to kind of submit and showcase their amazing work. You can see the full call for posters and the submission link on the website. I'll go ahead and click on it here so you guys can see a little bit more. Um, but this is what the full call for posters looks like. They should be submitted in a 16:9 aspect ratio, so that's just landscape versus vertical. And the required size is 36 by 48 inches. And I misspoke there. I apologize. It can be vertical or it can be landscape, but it does need to be in the 16:9 aspect ratio. Um, if you have any questions, please send them to me at my email, which is abbyclark@icanresearch.org, and I'm happy to answer. This is the call for posters for individual posters. It is a little bit broader, and so posters can reflect patient and family voices or be educational in nature regarding mental or medical research or topics such as mental health. Any interest that kind of has to revolve around kind of STEM or other topics revolved in healthcare are more than welcome to be submitted. For research posters specifically, so these are not the posters that are discussing about the cool things you're doing in service projects, etc. The research must be finished or be close to finished or ongoing when the research has been presented. So this cannot be a presentation about, prospective ideas on research. Um, And I will say that the form to submit the poster is through a Google form. So if you do have issues with a Google form, please feel free to just send the poster directly to us. We're more than happy to help accept it that way as well. So I'll pop back over to link.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Abby. So, drum roll, we're super excited to announce that our summit excursion will be at the Montreal Biodome. And so the kids and you all will be able to experience walking through 5 ecosystems and see all the animals, species, and plant life. We're super excited for this adventure that's going to take place on Wednesday at the summit. And we are going to be going there via public transportation, the metro. And for those who need accommodations for accessibility, such as those in wheelchairs, we will make sure to make the accommodations if you're not allowed or not able to go on the metro. We can also get a private taxi for you as well so that you have the best experience going to the biodome. Thank you, Abby. So some highlights and sneak peeks, sorry, some highlights and sneak peeks at our summit programming is we're going to have cultural connections. We're going to be having a welcome ceremony, which we're very excited about, and you'll learn more about that. That's by an elder because of Montreal's um, cultural perspective. So you're going to see that. We're also having the biodome excursion, which I just mentioned. We're also going to have an optional McGill University tour, which I'm super excited about. That's on Tuesday. So McGill, I'm sure y'all have heard of Harvard. McGill is basically the Harvard of Canada. So if your kids or young professionals or yourself want to have a tour of McGill, you're welcome to go on that tour. That's going to take place on Tuesday, but of course it's optional. So we're going to be taking a poll on the Sunday that you check in to see if you want to attend that optional tour. And then we're also having welcome and closing parties on Monday and Thursday as well. And another huge part of our summit is we're making sure that youth voices are prioritized and sharing their research that they've been doing. And we're having sessions led by leaders in clinical research and connections. Very excited for that. We're currently working with our industry leaders on their presentations. We're going to be meeting very shortly to figure out all their brainstorms, and the kids will be able to contribute as well as you to the conversations at the summit. And so all the sessions are tailored for youth. Our kids summit planning committee will be meeting with our sponsors at some point to make sure that they give them feedback on their sessions as well as other presentations. We are going to have a session on mental health this year. We're going to have an in-person Ask the Experts. We're also going to have Think Like a Doctor. There's a number of different programming that we made sure meets the needs and wants of our kids based off of our last year's survey. Thank you, Abby. And so I'm going to go ahead and do just a quick registration walkthrough. Again, this closes on June 20th. So you need to make sure that you get in your registration then. Okay. So can you all see my screen? Yes.
Oh,
Perfect.
actually,
Okay.
I need to stop sharing
Sorry,
mine, I
Abby.
think.
Okay, good. We can see it.
No.
No. Okay. Let me do it again. Okay. And I think a lot of you on this call have not registered. So again, make sure that you register. So here, I'm going to put the link in the chat in case you have not registered. So make sure you use that link to register. And then here, the actual one. So how do you register? Okay, I have had a lot of questions on which category to register in, so I want to make sure I clarify that as well. So if you are a youth member from an iCAN chapter or you're just attending the summit as a youth, so that's anyone under the age of 18, you will register under this category. Or if you're a young professional, so that could include anyone from 18 to 29, you will also register under this category, even if you don't belong to the Young Professional Network. So you will add that to your basket, your virtual basket. Or if you're a parent slash adult accompanying a minor, then you're going to register for this category. So let's say your child is going to the summit, then you will make sure to register it as this. Or if you're a chapter leader, you're going to register as this. If you're not accompanying a minor, you're going to register as this one. If you're an advisory board member, so we have an advisory board, if you belong in that category, you can register under here. If you're a board member, you will register under here. If you're a community partner, which means that you work with us, we have an MOU in place, we share each other's opportunities and things like that, then you'll register under here. If you're a nonprofit attendee, register under here. If you're a professional attendee, and those are like our industry leaders, um, other organizations, you're going to register under here too, not a nonprofit. Okay, so if I was a youth, I would click add and then I would fill all of this out. Please make sure to fill out every single thing. So you're going to put your first name, your last name, your age. Um, Even if you're older, make sure you put your age too. We won't tell anyone your age. And then make sure that you also designate for the country code to put in exactly specifically which country you're coming from, because we won't know your number if you're using the US one and you're based like in Poland. And then also put your organization, company, etc. And then here, make sure, especially for those who are on stipend, make sure you designate which days you are coming to the summit so that we know when to book your hotel. If you do this incorrectly, then you will not be accommodated for your hotels correctly either. So let's say I want to stay July 13th to the 18th in the morning, then you have to mark all of them. Okay? That way we know we're going to have accommodations for you from July 13th to the morning of July 18th, and then you check out. If you are not coming on July 13th and you're coming on the 14th, then please only mark July 14th to the 17th, which will give you that Monday morning or Friday morning checkout on the 18th. Okay, so make sure to mark this. If you're not sure right now, just do us a favor and check all of them because maybe you haven't booked your airfare yet, and then make a note further down to just let us know that you'll let us know when you book your flights. Make sure you also write how many family members will be accompanying you, and this is key if you are sharing a room. Okay, so like for instance, if I'm on stipend, then I want to say, okay, there's going to be 3 people accompanying me. And then I would know I'm going to put all of you together. Okay. Make sure you also correctly mark the breakfast as well. Also mark the days that you'll be joining us for lunch. Please note that we will not be providing dinner for 2 nights. Monday and Thursday, we are providing dinner, but Tuesday and Wednesday, it's dinner on your own. And then you also want to mark if you have any dietary restrictions. We are solely going off of what you mark on here. So make sure that you mark this appropriately. And then you can also put anything that you didn't put in here. You're going to put if you're okay with cross contamination. You're going to put your t-shirt size, and this is where you put any other accommodations that you may need. So if you're in a wheelchair, you can put that you need wheelchair accommodations. You can also say, for instance, if you need a grab bar in the shower, you can put that on there. You can also put, if you don't know the nights that you're flying in, then you can put that on there and say, I will confirm later. Just put any additional information that you need to provide. If you want a room with a certain person, you can also put that in here. It's not limited to anything. Put as much information as you want in there. And then you're going to make sure you put the emergency contact number and the name, and then all of this, make sure that you mark it. If you mark anything no, then we're going to follow up with you to ensure that that was your answer. So again, if you're not on stipend, you're responsible for your flight and transportation. And then if you're not on stipend, you're responsible for your own hotel reservation. So all the sponsors on this call, if you plan on staying at the Delta, or if you're not on stipend, you need to make sure that you make the booking here. Okay. If you're staying at another hotel, you can totally do that as well. But just note that again, our block is limited. So you want to make sure that you get those reservations in as soon as possible. And then again, also just so you know, if you are booking a hotel room that's outside of the Delta, we do have a special rate that we negotiated for all of you. But right now, in Montreal in July, it's peak season. So it might be hard for you to get a hotel room that is not with the Delta, or you'll be paying top dollar for a hotel room. And then also here you're consenting to yourself being videotaped, filmed, and it's really just for promotional purposes for social media. So you can put yes, and then this is a huge one. So if you miss any days of the summit other than illness, then you're responsible for covering the associated costs of your absence. So make sure to mark that yes or no. Okay. So for instance, this is different if you fly in. So if you fly in, let's say you fly in on Monday, and then we understand that you have to go to your room and things like that, and then maybe you'll come in on Tuesday. But if you check in on Sunday and then you don't attend throughout the week because maybe you have an event planned or an excursion planned outside of the summit, then you're going to be charged for the days that you miss because of the fact that iCAN is paying for those days that you mark that you would be there. So again, it could be like the breakfast, lunch, and the dinner, plus the cost of your hotel room, plus a portion of your flight. So you want to make sure that you attend every single day of the summit. And then again, if you're feeling ill, we totally understand. And we totally understand if you're not able to make every single day. We understand that the days can be long. So if for any reason you're not feeling well, just let us know. And then here again, we're going to send out other related summit information that you have to personally sign off on. So if you're a youth member that's attending with a chapter leader, your parent has to physically sign off and release liability to iCAN and to the adult. So make sure that you check your emails for that summit information release forms. And then also, if you want to cancel your registration, you have until June 30th. So that's 10 days after um, the summit registration is due. So make sure that you go through all of this. Again, a lot of it is pertaining to stipend recipients, but even those who are sponsors or those who are just attending to the summit, make sure that you register by June 20th. If you do register outside the scope of June 20th, you technically can. We're going to leave it open. However, just know that you may not get like a t-shirt or things from the swag bag because we are going to be ordering that as soon as June 20th hits. So just keep that in mind. Okay, and again, if you have any questions regarding anything that we went over in terms of registration, you can of course ask me in the chat or Abby. Okay, Abby, go ahead and share your screen again.
Thank you. Okay. So, um, just wanted to reiterate that all of the information we talk about today is located on the ICANN Summit webpage. And so even more things will be coming, things like dress code, a navigation guide, packing lists, the FAQ session. So all of these different important elements for making sure that your trip to the summit is as easy as possible is located on the ICANN website. So I just wanted to reiterate that. So make sure to check that out if you have any additional questions. But of course, Sabine and I are more than happy to answer or hop on a call or whatever needs to be done. Okay. We also just wanted to extend a huge thank you to our amazing Summit Planning Committee, our youth members who are part of the Summit Planning Committee, as well as our professional volunteers. They really have been doing such a fabulous job this year of helping us put on this incredible event. And so we just wanted to extend them a huge thank you just on this call. If you have a chance, go through and check out their really cool bios, all of the amazing things they're already kind of doing um, and kind of learn more about the team that's helping put on this incredible event. I also wanted to touch on our upcoming silent auction that we are having soon. It opens May 9th, so really right around the corner. And all proceeds for this benefit youth who are coming to the iCAN Summit. And so we really encourage you to check this out, look and see if anything piques your interest, or just also helping us out by sharing about this really great event and fundraiser on social media or to your different chapter members. We really would appreciate that encouragement and really are excited about the amazing things that we've been able to get for this upcoming silent auction. So make sure to check that out. Sabina will be sending some emails about that once it opens. Again, May 9th. This runs from May 9th till 16th. And so once that closes, you'll be able to see all of the incredible bids. So just wanted to put this on everyone's radar for the upcoming week to 2 weeks, just as a way to help and encourage and bring more people to the summit. We really appreciate your participation. We also wanted to acknowledge a few of our summit partners who will be coming with us and helping to make the summit as fabulous as it always is. And so we wanted to thank them and their efforts for coming and participating in person, and then also for any generous donations we've already received. So now we're going to open up the floor to questions. We know this was a lot of information, and so we really appreciate everyone kind of listening in and on the call. We're going to go through some of the questions in the chat that I noticed we've been getting, but please feel free to unmute or raise your virtual hand, and we'll be happy to answer any questions needed. These slides and all of the links associated with the slides and this information will be sent out to everyone on the call, as well as the recording of the session. So don't worry if you happen to come in a little late or you maybe need to leave a little bit early. This information will be readily available.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Abby. And then also, I want to touch base on Carrie's question when she said, can I confirm that if on stipend, the attendees arrange their own airfare and are reimbursed? Okay, so great question. I said yes to that. And please make sure that you're checking the weekly chapter updates because on that weekly chapter update, there is the direct link to submit for reimbursements. Okay, so make sure you're clicking that link. It's also available on the iCAN research website. Abby, can you pull that up real quick
Yeah.
so that people can see it?
Mhm.
Thank you. And for those of you who are on stipend, if you need your letter again, I can resend it as well, so that you know the exact amount. But this is exactly where the reimbursement form is, right there. Okay, so it's pre-approved stipend reimbursement form. You must tell us your recipients before submitting a stipend reimbursement form. Okay, so make sure to click on that. Okay, so again, you can ask any questions that you have at this point. Again, we're so excited to have all of our sponsors there, all of our community partners there as well, joining us. It will be an amazing networking opportunity for all of our youth. It will be a great space to really make that change from the ground up in pediatrics. So we're so thankful to have all of them there and to have all of you there. Again, any questions regarding anything?
Sabina,
Yeah, go
roughly
ahead.
what is the stipend reimbursement per child?
Oh, for your chapter, I can go ahead and check it. Is it
Okay,
okay? Is it okay if I send you a separate email
yeah,
after?
that's fine.
Okay, perfect. And I have it in a form, so I'll resend
Okay.
it.
For the poster sessions for the chapters, I know you said we're going to present like we did last year. Will we staff the posters? Like, will we stand at them at some point?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So this time so we didn't do that last year, but this year we're gonna have more of a symposium. So you'll have the opportunity to stand by it and share as people walk by. Again, this year it's only going to be chapter representatives presenting on stage, but during that symposium session, then we can have individuals present and chapters, so they'll all stand by them and have that opportunity.
We could have our chapter attendees, they'll come with the leader, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
is it possible to send two attendees without the chapter leaders if they're older than 18?
Yes. So
Okay.
if one of the kids or both of the kids are 18 plus, you can send them on their own. If one of the kids is 18 and takes liability or responsibility for the second kid who is a minor, you are allowed to do that as well. And also in terms of room accommodations, I got it cleared with the hotel that minors are allowed to stay in the hotel room alone as long as there is a supervising adult present that takes responsibility for them essentially 24/7.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
of course. And then also, I just wanted to touch in terms of dress code, it's casual professional. So we're again for our youth members, we're not going to be like wearing crop tops and things like that. It's all the people in this picture right here are dressed perfectly. So right here, if you look at that, we don't need to, go totally professional. But again, jeans are fine, shirts are fine. If you want to get more dressed up for the welcome party and the closing party, that's great too. But yes, everyone in all those pictures are dressed a-okay, just so you know.
Did you say that the optional tour of the college is on Tuesday or Wednesday?
It's on Tuesday. And that is also, Abby, is it on the agenda online right now? Or is it in
No,
our working too?
not yet.
Okay. So Abby will add that. And then Abby, can you also share your screen so everyone can see the agenda online as well?
Sure. Happy to do that.
So there is the agenda that is online, and you can all look at that. Right now, everything is pretty much set in stone. There will be a few changes. We will have a hard copy printed agenda this year instead of just the online one that's in all of your bags. Okay, we are not going, to the best of our ability, we're not going to be changing anything. So everything is pretty much set in stone. If you can scroll down again, this one is tentative, but once it hits your bags and it's that hard copy, it's going to be permanently that schedule. So if you
Thank you.
see,
And as Sabina mentioned, this one is kind of very temporary, but will be updated with all of the wonderful events and things we just talked about. And so we'll be able to send more information once that's done. As you can see, some of them still say interactive sponsor session, and that will continue to be updated before the summit.
Abby, sorry, can you show them how to navigate there again?
Yeah, happy to do that. Okay, so once you go to the iCAN 2025 Summit page, you'll see right up here at the header the link for registration and also this document icon right next to it. Once you click on that document icon, that will bring you to the agenda.
Perfect. And you can really, really see everything that's going on throughout the week. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Abby.
Mhm.
Again, feel free to ask us questions in the chat, or if you want to send us a separate email and ask us questions via email, that's also great too. If you want to meet us separately or stay on extra, we can do that as well.
With it being the busy season there, do you feel like we need to have reservations for dinner on Tuesday and Wednesday somewhere?
It depends
Or,
where you want to go.
okay.
So if you want to go to a fancier restaurant, there was one restaurant that Abby and I went to, and it was pretty much the best restaurant I've ever been to. Um, Abby, do you remember the name? Because I don't.
No, but we could send we'll put
Well,
it when we come up when our youth members are helping us put together kind of a locals guide for
yes.
Montreal, so we'll make sure to include it in that.
And so for the more fancy restaurants, definitely, I think even Abby and I waited or we got a side table, but you want to get in reservations ahead of time. But if you're looking more like at fast food or Tim Hortons, definitely you don't need a reservation. But definitely, again, it's the peak season. It's a very touristy area, so you want to make sure that you get it. Um, Everything reserved ahead of time, especially if you notice on the agenda, you will have time to go off on your own this year, not as much last year, but we made sure to build that into the schedule. So if you're planning on going anywhere, like maybe the amusement park, that's not too far from the hotel, but you will have to take either the metro or an Uber, then I would make those arrangements prior and just book things beforehand. The usual time for dinner in Montreal, I'm not sure, but I would think Abby and I had dinner at like 8 p.m. So I think it's not too late. Don't worry. So it's not like Italy at all. But it's definitely on the earlier, it could be probably from 6 to 8, I think. And we're gonna have dinner pretty early. Like our welcome party and our closing party are not too late. And also the great thing this year about the closing party is that we are going to either take Metro or we're going to be local, and people can go back on their own time as well. So none of the buses this year, it's just people can go back when they're ready to leave. Same with
If you want
Monday.
to dance the night away, you are more
Yes.
than welcome to go and dance
Yes.
the night away. And
And
if
no
you'd
one
like
will
to go
stop
home
you.
and go to bed, you're more than welcome to do that as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do most things stay open fairly late on Sunday night?
They're open until 1 a.m.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah.
Sabina, for the
Yeah.
posters that will be presented on the stage, is that all chapters, or are you guys just selecting certain chapters to present on the stage?
So if your chapter is coming, which I know yours is, it's required that they present something. Okay. So it
Okay,
can
great.
be as simple as an introduction of their roles in your chapter or what you've done. So it could be like that. Remember that movie night that you had? It could be an
Yeah.
introduction to the activities that you do as a chapter. It could be that. Or if your chapter does like extensive research, it could be that. So it's really whatever meets the needs of your chapter and what they do.
I will
Okay,
also
great.
add that if you kind of a newer chapter or you have some really fun goals in mind for like your next year, your next meeting, we really encourage you to share those as well. The purpose of the chapter posters is really to showcase all of the cool things you've done, all the cool things you're planning on doing. And so all the chapters and youth members and leaders can kind of learn from each other.
Yeah.
So there's really not much pressure at all in for the chapter posters. And then we just really encourage everyone to showcase all of the cool work that they do. And so if you have any kind of like I said earlier, if you have any questions about like the formatting or submitting, please feel free to send that to us.
Mhm. And Lashina, a lot of chapter members from Kids Rainbow have already done the presentation. So, like Joey and George, they're familiar with it. So, you can definitely ask them to guide the other kids as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Of course. Mumina, you have a question.
Hi.
Hi.
I was going to ask, how long would, for example, my chapter, Moorfields YPAC, how long would we have to present our poster and our achievements?
So it's 5 minutes per chapter. So 5 minutes and then done, and then on to the next one. But a lot of chapters, just so you know, none of them last year went beyond that 5 minutes. Most were presenting 2 to 3 minutes.
I'll also add that if you do have a topic you want to submit a personal poster about Mamina or talk about that, you'll have the chance to share it with people during that poster symposium. So that will be separate from the onstage chapter presentations.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to talk about my speech and how it was motivated by iCAN as well. So I wanted to talk about that. But my speech itself was 3 minutes and then talk about the story itself as well.
We would love that.
So that
I
could be
think
on the symposium.
Yes, I
Yes.
think doing at the symposium would be great. You can create a poster and then talk about your experience. I watched your speech. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Maybe we can put
Thank
that
you.
as one of the highlights in a video when people are breaking for like lunch, etc. But I loved it. You were so well spoken.
Thank you. Also, one of my friends, she wants to be a pediatrician when she's older, but I told her about iCAN. She wants to be part of a group meetings. So how does she sign up? Because does she have to be part of a chapter to sign up, or can she just join the meetings?
Oh, she can just join, she can fill out the interest form on the iCAN website, or you can direct her towards me, and then I can sign her up for the virtual chapter. We also have our youth council and young professional development.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mamina. Okay. Any other questions? And again, we can meet with you separately or via email. Just send us any questions. Okay, so with that, I think we're good to end the session. Again, if you have any questions, I can't reiterate enough to, yes, of course, we can say 2 minutes after to talk about plans, but I cannot reiterate enough. Please feel free to message us, ask us to set up a call with you. We would love to help assist you and, learn how to best help your chapter with the summit planning or help you plan your info session for the summit. This specifically goes to sponsors and those who are speaking at the summit. So just let us know how we can help you. But of course, you can stay on as well extra. But with that, I hope you all have a wonderful remainder of your Wednesday and a wonderful upcoming weekend. Make sure to check your weekly chapter updates emails so that you can get all the information. And we're looking forward to seeing you in July. It's so close. Okay, thank you so much.